Hello, today I am going to introduce the shifting of ice curve and two sector model, the Keynesian case. Well, before going into this analysis, I try to spread some light on the shifting of ice curve and LM curve. To have a better understanding, you should listen to all of my lectures on ISLM, which are given in the description box. Okay. Now, in in this figure, in this figure, I try to analyze the shifting of ice curve. Look, it is known to us that ice curve, the equation of the ice curve is this. In my previous lecture, I have told about this. Okay, here Y is the real output, A is the autonomous saving, I is the investment, capital I, small I is the interest rate, and S is the marginal propensity to save. Now, along this vertical axis, we measure the interest rate, and along the horizontal axis, we measure the real output or income. Okay, this is the LM curve, this is the LM curve, and this is the IS curve. I is 0, the initial IS curve, and this is the LM curve. Okay, now there are some factors for which there is a shifting of IS curve. There are some factors. If new investment found profitable, then IS curve will shift up. IS curve will shift up. Okay. I have told that IS curve, the equilibrium output is determined by the intersection of the IS curve and LM curve as far as the Keynesian thought is concerned. Goods market as well as the money market is in equilibrium at this point. Suppose this is point A, this is point E. This is the equilibrium point. Okay. Now, if new investment found profitable, then I is 0 curve will shift up. And if new investment found not profitable, then the I is 0 curve will shift towards origin. Okay, towards origin. Hope you understand. Now, if autonomous saving increases, then also the IS curve shift to upward. And if autonomous saving declines, then the IS0 curve will shift towards origin. Okay. Now, if MPC falls, that means the marginal propensity to consume falls. If marginal propensity to consume falls, then IS curve will shift upward. And if marginal propensity to save increases, then IS0 curve will shift towards origin. Okay. Now, if MPC, that is the marginal propensity to consume, if marginal propensity to consume increases, if marginal propensity to consume increases, then the IS0 curve will shift up, and if marginal propensity to consume falls, then the IS0 curve will shift towards origin. Okay, towards origin. So, on the basis of this equation, I have told all these factors that are responsible for shifting of the IS curve. So, what are the factors? If new investment found profitable, then the IS curve will shift upwards. If autonomous saving increases, then IS curve shifts upward. And if MPC falls, if MPC rises and MPS falls, then the IS curve will shift upwards. So I have told you that there are four factors. There are four reasons for which the IS curve will shift upward. Okay. Now I am erasing all this marking. Look, this figure represents the shifting of LM curve. This figure represents the shifting of LM curve. In the same way, along the vertical axis we measure the interest rate, and along the horizontal axis we measure the real income or real output. So this is the equilibrium point. As in the previous case, this is the equilibrium point. This point represents the equilibrium in both the markets, that is the goods market as well as in the money market. Okay. So now the shifting of LM curve. The shifting of LM curve towards right, increase in nominal stock of money. Increase in nominal stock of money. Okay. If nominal stock of money increases, then LM curve will shift rightward. LM curve will shift rightward. And if there is a decrease in price level, given the nominal stock of money, decrease in price level, okay? Must remember, there is a decrease in price level given the nominal stock of money, then also the LM curve, the LM0 curve will shift towards right, okay? Now, if the opposite case happens, now suppose there is a decrease in the nominal stock, then the LM0 curve will shift leftward. And if there is an increase in price level, given the nominal stock of money, then the LM0 curve also will shift to leftward. So this is the reason. These are the reasons for which the LM curve shifts upward, rightward, or leftward. Okay. If LM curve shifts rightward, then real income or real output will increase and interest rate will fall. And if the LM curve shifts leftward, then real output or income falls and interest rate will increase. Okay, now, now I am erasing all this marking. Now look, shifting of ice curve and two-sector model, the Keynesian case. Okay, look, now what happens? Along the vertical axis, we measure the interest rate, and along the horizontal axis, measure the real output. Now, this is the initial equilibrium. This is the initial equilibrium. Suppose this is the initial equilibrium where goods market and money market both are in equilibrium. So here the interest rate is I0 and the level of real output is Y0. Now suppose there is an increase in investment or consumption. Okay, there is an increase in investment. There is an increase in investment or consumption. Then the ice curve will shift right upward. The ice curve will shift upward. So what happened? The new equilibrium is here. The new equilibrium is here. This point. Suppose this point is E1. This point is E1. Okay. This is the new equilibrium is this where the income is Y2 and interest rate is I0. So this much amount, that is the range between Y0 and Y2, the gap, suppose Y2 minus Y0, this gap is because of the effect of multiplier. It is like the amount del I multiplied with 1 by 1 minus MPC. Okay, this is the amount which is equal to Y2 minus Y0. Now look, if there is an increase in investment, so naturally there is an increase in aggregate demand for output in the goods market, and as a result of this, the output increases. But there is also a increase in the demand for money to fulfill the demand for output. So there is also an increase in the demand for money. But in money market equilibrium, we know that money supply is constant. In money market equilibrium, we know that MD, this is the money demand for money, is equal to the supply of money. Sorry, the supply of money. The supply of money. if the money supply is constant and there is an increase in demand for money, so there is a tendency to increase the rate of interest. There is a tendency to increase the rate of interest. Okay, there is a tendency to increase the rate of interest, as because it is constant. To make it equal with the money supply, rate of interest should increase. If rate of interest increase, then the demand for money will fall. So in that way, there is a equilibrium. In that way, there is a equilibrium. So rate of interest should increase. And for that reason, the I0 will increase to I1. This I1. Okay? This I1. So this is the E2. This is the E2. This point is E2. This equilibrium point is E2. Here, the goods market and money market also in equilibrium. Here, goods market and money markets both are in equilibrium. So the increase in interest rate has a negative effect on investment, because investment and interest rate are inversely related. So as there is an increase in the interest rate, investment will fall. And as a result of this, the new output, real output, is a Y1. In one sector model, the multiplier works in full form. And as a result of the multiplier effect, we get Y0, Y2 amount of output. The increase of from Y0 to Y2 output. But as there is an increase in interest rate, there is a negative effect on investment. We get new level of output, that is Y1, where the money market and goods market both are in equilibrium at E2 point. Here only the goods market is in equilibrium. This E1 point represents only the goods market equilibrium. If we like to stay at this point, that is the I0 interest rate, then money supply should be increased. Money supply should be increased. And if there is an increase in money supply, then LM curve, that is the initial LM0, will shift towards LM1. Will shift towards LM1. Okay. So when money supply increase, we get this E1 equilibrium. We get this E1 equilibrium. Okay. Otherwise, we will stay at E2. Now look, now I am erasing all this marking. Now look, the slope of the LM curve here matters. Slope of the LM curve here matters if the LM curve if the LM curve is interest inelastic, if the demand for money is interest inelastic, then the LM curve will be vertical, will be vertical. It is parallel to the vertical axis. LM curve will be parallel to the vertical axis. Okay, a vertical is like this LM curve. If it is totally, totally interest inelastic, then the LM curve will be vertical, parallel to the vertical line. Parallel to the vertical line. LM curve will be parallel to the vertical line. But if it is near about the perfectly interest inelastic, then its slope is higher. Then LM curve slope is higher. Okay. Now it is if the demand for money is perfectly interest inelastic, perfectly interest inelastic, then the LM curve will be a line which is parallel to the horizontal axis, like this, LM curve like this, LM0. So depending on the slope of the LM curve, the interest rate changes. If the slope of the LM curve, if the slope of the LM curve is perfectly interest inelastic, then the interest rate will be high. The gap between the I0 and I1 will be high. And if it is perfectly elastic, if it is perfectly elastic, then we get this point. The LM curve is this, would be like this. Okay, at I0, at I0, at I0 interest rate. LM curve look like this. This is, suppose this is the LM curve. And we get a shifting of IS curve from I0 to I1, from IS0 to IS1, we get this is the curve. Suppose this is the curve, we get this point. Okay, this is the suppose LM0, LM0. Now we have new real output, that is Y2. So what we have learned from here is that the sensitivity of the money demand to the interest rate has an effect on the interest rate. Okay. Now, so what we have learned from here, the shifting, what are the reasons for shifting of IS curve and for shifting of LM curve. And we learned about the two-sector Keynesian model, the impact of shifting of IS curve. So I hope you got the point and you understand the impact of investment or consumption on the IS curve and overall two-sector Keynesian model. So thank you for enjoying my lecture. Thank you.